Did you chase down Halley's Comet in a spaceship named after an imperialist war criminal only to unwittingly find a trio of naked space vampires who you just had to bring back onto the Churchill? Did the comely female space vampire psychically call out to you to open her space case and mix energies with her before sucking all of your crew members dry, turning them into desiccated husks? Were these naked vampires then brought back to Earth despite your best attempt to prevent this, laying waste to London and leaving it on the brink of thermonuclear sterilization? If so, you may have just spent an absurd amount of time watching Matilda May waltz around a film au naturel in the Unkind Rewind, where we watched the 1985 cautionary space travel tale, Lifeforce.
Thrill me.
I'm gonna name you Coda. You get a name too, Photo.
His name is Happy Harry Hardon. He's a total sex maniac. Of course.
Welcome to the Unkind Rewind, where this week we again break a little from the routine and are joined by a returning guest, but without having discussed his memories of the film prior to getting together to talk about it.
A fan favorite, you might say.
Fan favorite.
That's right.
Greetings from a war-torn Minnesota, which still stands as of this recording, where I, Josh Dugan, have been strapped screaming to a gurney and am awaiting the kiss of a man who thinks I've got a familian inside of me. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sean McGrath, who, much to the surprise of his superiors, just let a naked girl walk out of the complex. Sean, have you thanked your lucky stars you were spared?
I don't know if spared's the word we're going to use today in any capacity. I don't think that's not the first thing that came to mind in terms of like what I've...
Restraint wasn't involved here?
How I would state how I feel at the end of this movie. Yeah, I mean, thank God, Josh, you're still with us. I know that you've formed a ragtag group of revolutionaries in the Minnesota area.
Yeah.
Yelling out Wolverines every time you destroy a military blockade or...
Only unlike in that film, it's not the Nicaraguans who are coming for us. It's our government.
Yeah. There used to be... What all that hate's going to burn you up, Josh.
Yeah.
Keeps me warm. I think C. Thomas Howell said that. Keeps me warm. I'm doing okay post Lifeforce.
We live in a post Lifeforce world, don't we?
There certainly are some segments of New York City around where I live that certainly resemble like the Chancery Lane Underground stop, which they went full apocalypse on over there in London. With I gotta say, some ghost effects that feel really copied and pasted from Ghostbusters when the vault gets loose.
Yeah.
A lot of wispy blue energy.
It was like halfway between the Ghostbusters effects and Highlander.
Yeah, that's
The Quickening.
Yeah, I almost didn't want to say, oh, it's like Ghostbusters because Ghostbusters deserves so much better. But yeah, it does have... I haven't quite seen that kind of energy, but everything else feels pretty much the same. People, hanging on the edges of car windows, arms falling off.
Yeah.
Arms twitching after they fall off.
Sure.
Because
they're zombified.
Yeah. It was really unclear, kind of, just from the start of this, who was instructed to behave like a vampire and who was instructed to behave like a zombie.
Yeah.
Oh, you think there were instructions?
Can we get on the same page, people? Can we just get on the same page for one scene? Anyway,
it's probably there's something lost in translation between Texan and English.
Anyway,
now this week we have musician and podcaster Conan Neutron returning to the Unkind Rewind. Conan, have you commingled your life force with any space vampires lately?
Yeah, it's average Saturday. Lifeforce is pretty wild. I mean, it
sure is.
There's a lot of movie here.
There's many movies here.
Yeah.
Plural.
Is it coherent? No. Is it tonally sound? Not really. Is it forgettable? Oh, absolutely not.
No, it's not.
You'll never forget at least part of this movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, get into that with the background on it. But
Oh yeah.
there's so much here, and it's so strange. It's such a strange movie in the way that when you first watch it, you just like what,
Yeah.
and it presents as something that it is not in multiple ways. Not all of them unenjoyable, but
Right.
wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing how much money was thrown at this. Is what I'll start with.
There's so little intentional humor in this movie as well. Everyone has just kind of pot committed on this being the biggest movie of the year in their minds. Yeah, I mean, there's so many points, and Conan just kind of mentioned it. What is going on here? What is this movie?
It's a common question, yeah.
What is happening? How much plot exposition dumping do we need right now? Again, I didn't know about this movie. This is new to me.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to hear your take on it because of that.
Yeah.
Coming into it fresh, seeing as many movies as I've seen, I still can't explain what I just witnessed. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I tell you what you have to explain is when you're watching it with your friend's house on VHS and mom walks in.
Mom is
When Matilda May is just sitting there buck naked, holding court or whatever, and try to explain what's going on. Okay, that's it. Not to give you a little preview of my background, because that actually is a real thing that happened.
Conan, why don't you tell the listeners who have forgotten what they heard back when you joined us early on to revisit, pump up the volume last year, a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So as mentioned in the intro, I'm a longtime musician, touring and recording. In fact, there's a tour with Red Cross happening largely in the Southwest and other areas for March to April, and a couple shows with Mike Watt before that as well.
Nice.
That are just announced. I also podcast weekly for a show that's been around for 11 years called Conan Neutron's Protonic Reversal. It's a one-on-one music interview show that is very... it's pretty well respected for that genre of whatever that is. And then, of course, I'm co-host and senior producer on the movie show Movie Night Extravaganza, which now both of you guys have been on.
Yep.
That is a long-running movie show, very reverent, fast-paced, but coming from an informed place as well. That's been going for, I think, about 5 years now. I'd check to see. And I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm from Oakland, California. Before that, I grew up in the Central Valley of California, which is closer to Nebraska than any organized metropolitan area.
Yes.
And one of my big escapes in a cultureless dead zone, if you will, was both music and the local video store, where we could pick up movies of all shapes, styles, and varieties, including lots of genre stuff, meaning horror and sci-fi, of which this one, with its very inauspicious-looking cover that doesn't really tell you what the movie's going to be about,
Sure does.
was one of them. and me and my friend Clay, who sadly has passed on, but was my best friend. He's the cover of the first Secret Friends record is a stylized painting from David Yao, the Jesus Lizard, of a photo that he and I took in high school. We had a thing where we would, if we knew about it, we would get the worst movie we saw and the best movie we saw. This is Clay's doing. And we would watch the worst movie first.
Okay.
And then watch the best movie.
I remember this.
And the theory was that the good movie would be even better after watching the terrible movie. So
I bet the good movie wasn't better after this one.
This one we just didn't know. Here's what we knew. We knew
Yeah.
it's the guy from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist.
Yeah.
And it's like a big budget sci-fi movie. And we were like, stop right there. You've made the sale. Like, we were all in. We're like, there's no way that's not badass. Oh my God, I can't wait to watch it like right now.
So back then you would say, oh, Tobe Hooper? Poltergeist?
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Say less.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, you'd be like, say so much more.
Say, please, give
Please
I
tell
need to
me.
come armed with
You're gonna-
information
yeah.
here. Yeah, no. We didn't know. I mean, we didn't have IMDb even.
Right.
You know, I mean, we didn't have
the VHS
Letterboxd.
version that you would have seen, would it have been...
The shorter version.
Okay, because there's a 101-minute cut that TriStar released stateside, and then the international cut is 15 minutes longer.
Right.
I saw that this time.
Yeah, we all saw that, I'm sure.
That's what we watched this last time.
Yeah.
I decided to give Lifeforce another chance, I don't know, 15 years ago. When I heard that, I'm like, oh, maybe it's a coherent movie with this longer cut. Nah,
No.
not really. Is it
and
longer?
Tobe Hooper had
yes,
another
yes, it
cut
is.
that was, 12 minutes longer, I think. That was
Yeah.
his, director's cut that they slashed. There's also a lot of Matilda May footage that was left on the cutting room floor because the editor decided it was too pornographic.
Yeah.
Her walking down the stairs was like, oh, Jesus.
Can we get more shadows, please? Yeah.
Yeah.
Conan, do you remember the movie, the companion piece to this, when you rented Lifeforced? Was there a time?
I was curious about this, too.
Oh, yeah, it would have been cool if I wrote all that stuff down.
Did you think Lifeforce was going to be the bad movie of the two?
No, we thought it was going to be the good movie.
Okay.
That's the thing. So we had a movie that was real, Waxwork 2 or something whatever, and we had Lifeforce.
Mission to Moscow.
Yeah, exactly. We had that's how I saw a lot of the Hammer horror movies and stuff like
Sure.
that too. The Jar, Basket Case, things along those lines, stuff that I don't know is the best use of my time. I don't know, is how we used our time. Some of them were great, some of them are really glad I saw every Puppet Master I think till 5. Dollman versus Demonic Toys.
At least 3 too many.
Oh my God! Yeah, no, if without this exercise, what do you think I would have watched that crap? No, of course not.
Yeah.
But here they are. How much stock footage in this one?
Josh, the 2 movies you discussed on Movie Night Extravaganza with Conan were Jackie Brown and...
I've been on Thrice.
Oh, Thrice. So the other 2 were...
You filled in for me.
The Love Witch and... what can I think now? Jesus
Okay.
Christ, my brain short-circuited.
So at least Jackie Brown and Love Witch.
Yeah.
And then
What
whatever...
was the third one?
whatever
Long
you
Goodbye.
short- Long Goodbye.
Long Goodbye. Yeah.
I came on recently and talked about Memories of Murder. All ostensibly good, fun watches.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You could make an argument that some of these are masterpiece movies.
Yes.
And yet Conan comes on our show and, well, fuck you, Conan, kind of.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Can you give me something completely incoherent with a surprising amount of nudity? Great.
We couldn't bring Conan on for Paris, Texas or something. We have to bring him on for Lifeforce.
Well, and we have a thing on Movie Night Extravaganza, and it's a very inscrutable logic, but I personally don't like talking about movies. I like giving big ups for movies that I like or I think are interesting to discuss, and I don't really like slagging things off.
Sure.
I love slagging things off, but that's not what I think the format of the show
Right.
is best suited for. And so we have sometimes we'll cover stuff that's incredibly obscure and genre fair, and so, but it's usually because there's something really cool about this, or maybe it's underseen, or
it's germane to your monthly topic.
Sure, it fits the
that's
theme of
case.
what we're talking about. I could never foresee any situation that Lifeforce would come up. That's why I was kind of like, yeah, man, because there's a lot of things to say about this, but having nothing to discuss about it wouldn't be one of them.
No,
it's where to begin?
And there's so many different ways to interpret a bad movie. Like, this movie is, arbitrarily very bad. Does it give us a lot to talk about? Sure. Josh and I have had movies on this podcast where we've had bad movies, and it has been an absolute chore to...
It's like the Baton Death March or something to get through it. Yeah.
One of them has dinosaurs in it. One of them is about...
one of them costs so much more than this.
One of them costs so much more than this.
Well, 2 of them, Space Jam costs more than this, too.
Josh, I want to speak for you here. Space Jam was not our favorite movie of all time.
No.
Okay.
No,
let's just say that. And I know that when we had those episodes, it was hard for us to kind of rein in how we felt about the movie and still kind of keep it. This Lifeforce is so different than those two in that the vexing, the sheer batshitedness of it all is so much more attractive for me as a discussion topic.
It's interesting. Regardless of whether it's good, it is inarguably interesting.
Agreed.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, because think from the base term of just the concept. It's heady conceptually, right? It's ultimately, this is based off of a book called Space Vampires.
Yeah.
Which makes so much more sense as a title, right? Is it
The studio didn't want it.
Studio
Canon
didn't
didn't want to go with
Okay.
it.
You know, fine.
They thought that it sounded too much like the shitty other genre fare that they'd been releasing, and so they wanted to have like a separation
they
between.
wanted it to be elevated, which
Yeah.
explains a lot. They may not have that may not have been the phrase.
I mean, they still ran out of money to film this. There's still like all of the stuff with the male vampires never got shot. Basically,
There's so much on screen where it's like, did you need to have that many explosions? Like,
because they went over by 5 fucking weeks.
Oh,
They had a 17-week shoot planned and went over by 5 weeks. By almost a third of the production schedule.
It's amazing.
They went over.
and that's a long shoot.
Crazy. Before we get too close to the comet, where can our listeners find you, Conan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at Conan Neutron, most everything. Facebook, begrudgingly. Instagram. Actually, it's just Neutron and Blue Sky. X the Everything app, sure. All those things. NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com.
For your Japanese fans.
Mostly for the Japanese, you're right.
Yeah.
NeutronFriends.bandcamp.com. The Bandcamp's probably the best place to find our music because that's where we actually see a shekel or two. But it's on Spotify and Apple Music, all that stuff. You can buy records, T-shirts, CDs, all that kind of thing there.
Do you know when the next Bandcamp Friday is?
I don't. And
Okay.
they're being really weird about announcing
You never
those
hear
now.
about it until the day before. It's kind of odd. At least as a casual
No,
I
it's
don't
the same
have
for
a
bands.
Bandcamp account that I'm posting stuff on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a pop-up store or something now. I
Right.
don't know what they're doing. But Protonic Reversal, ProtonicReversal.com, weekly podcast, $1 a month advance access on the Patreon. Of course, Movie Night Extravaganza, MovieNightExtravaganza.com. Tuesdays, stream live, podcasted later. Sean was the warm-up back to both Adam McKay and Josh Olson this month.
Yeah.
So.
Is it weird that I know Josh Olson mostly from the West Wing thing?
Considering your other show, no. Not at all.
I was like, oh shit, Josh Olson's going to be on. And then I was like, no one's going to care about the Josh Olson that I have a relationship to, which is shitting on the West Wing. Anyway, sorry.
He's great. I mean, he's also wrote History of Violence, which is one of my favorite Latter-day Cronenbergs.
Yes.
And Adam McKay had been on before.
Yes, and that was more of a that was more of an
Open
interview
convo kind of.
conversation, and then this is he more or less invited himself back on that show because we were talking. I don't know why we started talking about Fellini, but it's me. So we started talking about how much I love Knights of Cabiria, which he loved. Because I said it reminded me more. Honora reminded me more of Knights of Cabiria than Pretty Woman, because people at the time were like, "Oh, Honora, it's just Pretty Woman." I'm like, have you seen either of these movies, moron? But anyway,
one of them's good.
Right, exactly. And then,
given how incestuous both our podcasts are, Conan, it's only a matter of time before Adam McKay wanders over to the Unkind Rewind to talk about fucking toy soldiers or something.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely, man. Well, and there was a great in the interview episode. We just started talking about 2000 noise rock bands, 2000 era noise rock bands for about 5 minutes, and the others were just like, and I was like, okay, we got to get off this topic because this is really fun for us.
Yeah, this is a 2-person conversation with 5 of us on air. Yeah,
exactly. But everyone was like, no, that was badass. I'm like, well, cool. I just felt weird about us basically having a private conversation about bands you've never heard of.
Right.
Well,
right.
we've had 9 baseball writers on the show.
You've had a lot of baseball representation.
Yeah.
It's
And Josh
interesting.
is
There's another, at least one in the can. There are a few more that
we've almost
that are in the
exhausted
mix.
all living baseball writers at this point. So
We sure haven't. I promise.
And you
we
haven't. There have been a lot of baseball movies, though.
No.
And
which
they've
is
never
interesting.
talked about a baseball movie, right?
No.
They won't talk about anything other than that. I get it. Last thing I would ever want to be on as a guest for is a musical biopic. Because first of all, my least favorite genre.
Yeah.
Well,
Though you did oh, God damn it.
Walk
What
Hard?
was it? No, there was something you
Song
just...
Sung Blue?
Maybe. No, I don't feel like it was Song Sung Blue.
I can
thought
just
you
keep
liked one
yelling
this
out
year.
movie titles. What do you want? Yeah.
I thought...
I thought Song Sung Blue was great.
Yeah. Oh, it was just biopics in general. Sorry. It was you like both of the Linklater.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Yeah,
they're two of my
they're
favorite
not
movies
really
yet.
biopics. They're more like, little...
bio-adjacent. They're
Yeah.
Well, and they both do the thing that I prefer, which is you focus on a certain segment of time.
Right.
Rather than trying to tell somebody's entire life story.
Sure. Though I suspect that the new Nebraska movie isn't that good, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. But anyway, yeah. I mean, that's That's
maybe
my
we
life.
can get somebody to come on and talk about a baseball movie. I know that we did this in kind of a demo, Josh, but we got some new Timothy Busfield news.
Oh, yeah.
Star of Little Big League.
And of
30
Russian Brides, the SVU episode we did, like, he was in the SVU that was supposed to air this past Thursday. They had to pull it.
Oh man, yeah,
they're having to shelve this because of Busfield.
Time to be either Timothy Busfield or star of another kid baseball movie, Rookie of the Year, Daniel Stern. Losing work right now. Because,
because he saw a sex worker, right?
He solicited a prostitute.
Well, there you go. I'd be surprised if like Bull Durham or The Natural didn't come up on someone's list for.
Oh yeah, they'll show up, and Major League will, I'm sure. Although Major League is so rewatchable that it's going to take a while to find someone who hasn't seen it in the last,
That's one
years.
that you've seen at least 4 times if you ever had cable.
Right.
It's
I've seen
just
it like
on.
45 times, but
More Unkind Rewind right after these messages.
So in a funny wrinkle, this episode was actually born from the comments of one of our former guests, Jeremy Steen, his review on Letterboxd. He's Dogs Be Out on Letterboxd.
And he was our Beastmaster guest.
That was a great episode, yeah.
Yeah, the Beastmaster, fantastic, fun stuff. But his review for this was, in space, no one can hear you bust. which made you kind of give a tip of the hat, Conan. And you said you hadn't seen this in a long time.
Yeah.
Which did lead Jeremy to say, if only there were some sort of podcast you could go on wherein you could discuss said film and your reappraisal and such.
Yeah.
Hard wink.
Conan, what was your history with this film?
Well, like I said, Clay and I had our ritual where we would rent 2 movies and then we'd pick the, one that looked obviously terrible and one that we thought was going to be badass. This was in the latter category.
Okay.
Because we were a huge Texas Chainsaw Massacre fans and fans of Poltergeist as well. And it was just like when you hear it described to you, you're like, oh, this can't miss. Yeah, there's no way this can miss. And, fast forward to, us watching this movie. And his mom comes in and one of the many Matilda May just holding court, buck naked.
I think she's fully nude on screen for 7 minutes of screen time.
It's a lot. It feels like more.
I was going to say, this doesn't even feel like his mom came in at the worst possible time, because that's the whole movie.
It's like a third of the movie is what it felt like, right? And to be clear, we were surprised. Me and Clay, we were surprised by it, but being teenage boys, we weren't mad about it. This was like, oh wow, this is not what I thought this was going to be, but okay. And we came away with it, and this would have been the shorter cut, being like, huh. Like, it wasn't like we hated it, but it was like, that was very much not what we expected. And I didn't really think about it for a long time, but every once in a while I'd be like, oh yeah, that's crazy that was like that dude's like 3rd big movie that he did. That wasn't like some indie affair. That's like really strange. And then it honestly probably led me to not explore a lot of Tobe Hooper's latter day material.
Sure.
Because I was like, oh, Lifeforce though. Ooh. And then when they announced the, hey, we got the director's cut, whenever this was, and it's like, oh, cool. So my natural inclination was maybe it's more coherent as a movie if there was a lot of stuff that was cut out for various reasons. Although I was like, what the hell did they cut out? None of the nudity, apparently. And I watched that and I was like, well, it's definitely longer. Yeah. and I was like, all right, I guess I had it right the first time. Matilda May, lovely young woman. There's worse things to see on your screen.
Sure.
But just baffling movie. And then I didn't think about it for years and years and years and years and years. And then I think I saw, it's a bit of a cheat. I'm glad it's not the normal motif, because I think when we did still have cable about 4 years ago, one of the movie channels had like a scene from it. I was like, oh shit, is this Lifeforce?
Yeah.
And I watched about 5 minutes of it and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I turned it off. But I basically have done 3 full watches, one of which was last night on Tubi, the people's platform.
Yes. Sean, did you have a history with Lifeforce?
Only the NES game by Konami. Lifeforce was a side-scrolling.
Like Gradius. It was like Gradius.
It was like Gradius, yeah. You could play with a friend, so it was either one spaceship or two, and you were going through kind of a space body. Like it was a little bit of like a, is it Fantastic
Like a
Voyage? No, like an actual body. Like
I was thinking like inner
okay,
space. Is that like the
Okay.
Dante
yeah,
movie.
there's like an inner space to it, like you fight an
Yeah.
eye on the end of a intestine. But also one of the few games that honored the Konami code of up, down, left, right, BA,
Yeah.
start, or if you have two people, select start, which would give you the 30 lives. And it was certainly a game that you needed the 30 lives to get through because it was just shit
That was
flying
brutal.
at you nonstop.
Yeah.
I did not know that this movie existed. I was kind of hoping for a soft adaptation of the video game, to be honest.
That would be kind of badass.
So I feel, I feel a little bit like the kid at the lunch table that just doesn't know what all the cool kids know, because Lifeforce just should absolutely have been a movie that I knew of and watched a million times, and I was sick that day or whatever it was,
Right.
Yeah.
where my peers were talking about it. I was just out with the flu and I missed the whole Lifeforce conversation. And then once they had exhausted it, they were like, there's no need to bring this up ever again. Let's all take a blood oath to not bring this up at future lunch table meetings. And Sean's just out of luck. I think that's what happened, because I probably would have lost a sizable amount of money if you said, hey, Sean, is there a movie called Lifeforce? I would have said no. So that's how in the dark I was.
Yeah.
What, a week or so ago, or whenever this was kind of propositioned?
It's a forgettable name too, though. That's
And
that's
now-
the other
right,
thing.
yeah.
Right?
It's like the kind of the direct to video sequel of Starman or something,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I know what that is.
So now that I'm out of the darkness and into the light, my whole life probably will change. There's so many
Yeah.
things now that I'll just
Oh,
look
yeah.
at differently.
You'll never look at London the same.
No, certainly not Chancery Lane Metro Underground stuff. But I certainly will have a different reaction to very small-waisted, big-breasted women walking slowly downstairs.
Yeah.
And I take a lot of subway rides.
And you see a lot of weird stuff. But,
I see a lot of stuff, and how I react now, I think, will change, for good or bad.
Yeah. So I've just seen this one time before, I think. They did it for How Did This Get Made a long time ago, like probably 10 years ago. And I watched it to, have seen the film before they did the episode.
One of the huge reasons that I didn't see this is because it was never covered on Mystery Science Theater 3000, which is how a lot of like B movies,
Sure.
C movies, F movies entered my world. And I think there's no controversy as to the reasoning behind a bunch of guys in Minnesota on a cable access new comedy show didn't cover this movie.
You can't work around the broadcast issues.
Right, but American Ninja and Manos Hands of Fate and Santa Claus Saves the Easter Bunny, or whatever the hell. All those movies and all that, in heavy quotes here, trash, because one man's trash, came into my life through the guys at Mystery Science Theater 3000. And I think had they covered this, and God, I wish they would, I would have known about it. But again, I was in the dark.
If you cut out all the nudity, that would be about 5 minutes long. So
I know. You can do it as like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 short.
yeah.
Because I do cover short sometimes before the feature attraction.
But yeah, I just seen it, I believe, the one time. I mean, it left an impression. Most of the impressions the first half of the movie. I honestly had nearly forgotten the entire second half of the movie. I didn't remember London getting laid waste to. Didn't remember that at fucking all.
Can I say I forgot to mention it? Same. Like I was shocked by how much of the, I'm gonna use air quotes here, plot that I had forgotten about in the back half. Like I was just I remember the ending.
Is it because they waited until about a hour 20 into it to kind of drop the plot in that long exposition that he has kind of staring off into the darkness?
In Tobe Hooper's extra cut, they're not off the Churchill until like minute 36.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like there's like a lot more space stuff.
Because
Yeah.
they do a lot in this movie of flashback. Here's what happened. And Josh, to your point, I'm thinking that we probably all saw that in the first 36 minutes.
They moved the flashback stuff forward in the
Yeah.
film to like break it up a little bit because it was too space heavy in the beginning, which is crazy. Like it's crazy that the previous iteration of this was we're just in space for fucking over half an hour.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a space epic for
Yeah.
a super long time. Then like, oh, now we're
Yes.
just hanging out in England, huh? Okay.
And because we're talking about like that component of it, they handle space so cheaply and artificially. And granted, like they're not going to Apollo 13 and go shoot these guys in 0G. But, you know, speaking of a movie also written by Dan O'Bannon,
Alien.
how does Alien look so much better than this?
Yeah.
Being, 6 years earlier? How did so many other movies made before Lifeforce for less money look better than these? I mean, it looked like they had kind of done...
Part of it looked animated.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looked like they did like magazine cutouts of these guys in their spacesuits.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like zipped them across the screen like some type of, you know,
On strings.
junior high school film project.
Yeah.
There's no thrusters to this thing.
I was shocked by that.
Like all the spacesuit stuff looks really, really cheap. It's like the dinosaur effects from Baby.
But you know what doesn't look cheap? Matilda May.
I mean, in a way, you have to go, how does a woman kind of that thin have measurements like that?
Well, it's because she's 19.
Is she really 19?
Yeah. She
Oh,
turned 19 on the set. Her birthday was the fifth day of production.
So the second 19-year-old being sexually objectified that we've done on the show in a row.
Yeah.
Wasn't it something like...
Shout out John Borman and your daughter.
That was his daughter. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yep.
She was like... That was when she was covered in blood, right? Was that the day that was her birthday? If I remember correctly.
Oh, God. I mean, okay, so just... There's a woman...
So it's like happy birthday. Is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Matilda May's birthday. Yeah, I think you're right.
Sorry, not the...
Do we know anything about Matilda May? I didn't dig into it, but
She was a French actress. She had 2 French credits before this, and then she sort of had a breakout in France with
I'll say.
The Cry of the Owl.
Of course, everyone's seen that multiple times.
She won a Caesar Award for Most Promising Actress or something.
Do we know if
that,
she appeared
which was
to
2 years after.
prior to this movie?
I don't believe so, because I think she only had 2 credits before this.
This movie has all the makings of a nudity will be requested at callbacks type of feel to it, right? Like
Yeah.
every now and again as an actor, there would be some kind of skeezy audition posting, and then in very small print in parentheses it would say nudity may be requested at callbacks. And to any actress out there or actor,
This happened to her.
I would say get fucked if you ever come across that. They do not need to see you naked.
Yeah,
Even if there's nudity in a play. And fuck it, I've done nudity in a play. Dalton. Nudity. But I'd be enraged to the point of just telling them to get fucked if they asked me for that at a audition process.
There's no on-screen nudity in Deep Dark, right? I can't remember.
No. I don't think there's female nudity in that. I don't think there is.
But for you, there was no on-screen in Deep Dark.
No. I have to mime a lot of sex.
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
But somebody once said, like, "Oh man, did you really have to fuck that blank?
Hole?
I don't want to, fuck that hole." And I was like, "Yeah, they made me fuck the hole." Let me give you the book of like how filmmaking is done, and then you can read it and come back to me. They made me fuck it. Good job.
Insane, but.
Getting away from whole fucking.
I've recommended this before, but people should actually watch Deep Dark. I do really genuinely like.
Yeah,
Deep
check
Dark.
out Deep Dark. Yeah, go for it.
It's fun, and you're the fucking star of this film.
Yeah. 2013 dark psycho.
Yeah.
Thriller. Yeah, with the voice of Aeon Flux as my lead.
I'm putting it on my watch list right now.
I can't remember. Diane or Daphne. But anyway, getting back to our...
Right.
And this was so funny. I didn't really notice how they were going to do this. The credits come out of nowhere. Like the end credits in this one, you're just like, oh, there they are.
Yeah, there it is, everybody.
End credits. And she is credited as Space Girl.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Not even Space Vampire.
Nope.
Space Girl.
Well, that's giving away too much if you're looking at the
IMDb
credits wherever in
Do
1985.
They don't really use a name for her, right? She's so often just talked about as she.
Yeah.
Or, you know, she's very
well, because
she
is woman.
She is woman.
Yeah.
There is no...
Well, and to be fair, they don't name the dudes either. That there are 2 dude vampires in this movie too. That like nobody like really remembers.
In terms of screen time, though, Conan, like we have Marcia Mary Marlene, whatever the fuck her name is,
Matilda May.
Matilda May is all over this movie from start to finish.
Oh yeah.
And even when we kind of get her in her final form in the white tunic,
And the diaphanous.
the diaphanous, very clear that it's a cold room.
Yeah.
On set, that I was like, oh, okay, well, at least we're ending with her kind of clothed. No. I just had to. I spoke way too soon. I jinxed it.
But we do get to see Peter.
Yeah, we get to see him.
Not Peter Firth, sorry. Railsick or whatever. Steve Railsick?
Yeah.
Railsback. Steve Railsback. We do get to see him. We get to see his ass.
back. Yeah.
Yep.
Are you talking about just butt shot of Steve Railsback?
Shot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, both naked. Right?
Okay,
but,
sure.
But it's naked. But
I'm upset we didn't get to see Space Vampire Dong, but
Yeah.
Especially when they were walking through like the worst secured like British medical testing site of all time. They just sort of do their like naked strut.
Yep.
Eating bullets.
Yep.
We don't even get to see like Shadow Dong there. And I know that this podcast among probably all the movie podcasts are one of the ones that argues most for equal opportunity nudity.
yeah.
I thought Kinds of Kindness was a cop out that we didn't get to see Defoe's dick in that one. Not that I it's like you build it up this much, you might as well fucking show it at that point.
As Josh would say,
so to speak.
You got to give something for the ladies.
Yep.
And the fellas.
Yep.
I do think it's great that they had to glue rubber soles to the bottom of Matilda May's feet because all the broken glass.
Oh my god, yeah, it's John
Well, and to have her
McClane.
walk out because it's through the walking out to the grass through the grass too.
Yeah.
So like it's crazy that they had to glue rubber soles to her feet though. Like
They gave Bruce Willis like fake rubber feet in Die Hard, and
okay.
Matilda May only got soles.
she didn't rate, I guess. She
Can
also.
we talk? Go ahead.
I was gonna say this notable that before she basically learned English on the set and learned how her lines phonetically.
Yeah. And then by the end of it had a London accent.
Right. But I think that one of the things I think that's kind of cool about the movie is that her manner of speech is so strange and so kind of just distinctly otherworldly that when I learned that, I'm like, oh, that makes sense because she just learned it phonetically. And that actually adds to what little character there is. That kind of adds to the character
Right.
of Space Girl. Space Girl, everybody. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Big ups to Space Girl.
I don't know. So we think that she was not ADR'd by another non-French
She wasn't.
performer? Okay.
Not from what I can tell. It's there's no one credited. There's no notes about it. It sounds like she was. It was her voice. Yes.
Do either of you guys have an association with the actual lead of this movie, the aforementioned Steve Railsback?
I do not. I don't have a relationship to either him or Peter Firth.
Okay, so and he's the kind of curly-haired blonde SAS.
Yeah, he's Colonel
Kind of-
King, the SAS guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter Firth is. Railsback is Colonel Carlson.
Steve Railsback studied at the Lee Strasberg Institute of Acting.
Okay.
He's got a decade of kind of New York stage credits. But this movie does him no favors.
Yeah.
He is so terrible in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Can he be good? Perhaps. I haven't seen it. I don't have any kind of empirical evidence that says
Right.
this guy's a good actor. But if you were to base it on this, you would want your money back from Lee Strasberg in the Actors Studio.
Railsback was apparently had a bit part in The Line of Fire as a CIA agent, so I saw him in that. And I remember Storytelling, the Todd Solondz
Yeah.
movie. He's in that. He's in that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some credits that I recognize.
But like, I don't remember him in these roles. Like,
No, not at all.
He's very, very forgettable. He's got a forgettable face. His voice sounds like if you were instructing Bill Paxton to sound dumber.
are we talking Weird Science Bill Paxton, or are we talking Bill Paxton like post Predator 2?
Both these boys are from Texas, and
Yeah.
there is that drawl that we hear in Steve Railsback, but he has such a annoying voice, annoying presence, and the fact that each and every scene he's just kind of cock-led to danger.
Yeah.
Right.
Gets an entire...
It's a divining rod.
Yeah, at the cost of his entire crew, at the cost of an entire city.
Yep.
And even when we build up to this crescendo of, I know who this person is, I know exactly what they're going to do, I'm going to go confront them and destroy them once and for all. He's naked in, 30 seconds after seeing her? Wrapped up, intertwined.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a lot of double impalements, Josh, of late.
Yeah, well, yeah.
This is almost a double feature because last Unkind Rewind we were talking about Excalibur and the fight between Arthur and his son / nephew Mordred, and here in Lifeforce we have to do another double impalement.
Yeah,
with a sword, which I don't remember where this sword comes from or why this kind of octogenarian scientist is able to wield it so adeptly to kill one of the eugenic looking vampires midway through the movie.
It's there. It looks cool. I guess that's all you need.
Do we remember where it came from? The vampire slaying sword?
No.
Okay.
That was probably in a scene that didn't get filmed.
Sure, because he reports on the phone that I found out how to kill them. It's like what did it say? It's in the tales of old. You have to use a leaded weapon.
Lead-dipped iron, I believe.
Yeah. Not wood, but lead-dipped iron, 2 inches below the heart at the focus of the chi, which is who knows that? Nobody knows that. Why is that a thing the thing we all know? What are you talking about?
Do they think they're being highbrow where they're okay, we call this thing the space vampires. This is where vampires of yore probably came from. All the legends are these space people, so that when people in the Middle Ages were talking about vampires, they're probably also talking about aliens, which is, I'm sure, the crux of that novel, right? That oh my god, this whole time...
Yeah, because they're energy vampires in the novel. I assume Colin Robinson originated there.
Right, when we're talking about vampires, we were actually talking about aliens. Dun dun dun! Right. And yet, we have to not make it the heart. We can't just fucking commit.
And the only thing that makes sense from anything from a folklore perspective is especially within England and the English Isles, the idea of iron being repellent to fae folk and ghosts and fairies and whatnot. But I don't know, being presented the thing that we all know. And also, where did you get that?
Where did you get that?
And how did you overpower this guy that clearly has superpowers compared to you by consideration? Again, no interest in explanation.
The scene may have been shot looks so implausible and janky that they're let's just cut to the aftermath of Aryan vampire on a table with this thing kind of
it's good visual
through him. Yeah. And let's just let the audience believe that British Tony Bennett was able to wield it so adeptly to slay this vampire. I will say that one of the by the way, I think they're calling him Hans Fallada.
Fallada, yeah.
Which is an author who wrote a book about the Nazis from being in Germany. I don't know what we're trying to say there with that.
the Frank Finley characters we're talking about.
Yeah.
The which for people that don't know these guys by name because they don't personally know them, it's the guy with the shock white hair.
Yes.
That's
shock
the
white
doctor.
hair, the older kind of shorter, stout guy.
Who's I actually have seen him more stuff. He's got parts in The Pianist. He's a that guy. He shows up in B tier stuff usually.
But he actually, to defend this movie very, very briefly, he had one of kind of the better special effect scenes with his face bubbling.
Yeah.
Which I actually thought was actually pretty well done.
I think the desiccated corpses kind of work too.
Maybe very briefly. It did feel
when they're moving. It's very
animatronic.
Evil Dead to me, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
No, I'm talking about when they're husks.
When they're husks, that's cool. Yeah,
I think that stuff works. I don't think the animated or whatever the fuck, the practical effect of them moving as zombies or whatever. I don't think that works that well.
But Josh, you'd be all in if I told you right before you die, your face will start bubbling. You'll say, "Here I go," and then your back will open up to expel a bunch of blue energy. You're down with that, right? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
It's how he wants to go. Yeah, exactly.
Sign me up.
As opposed to laying in some hospital bed,
Well, it does adequately establish. I feel like there's more of it in this version, of more of his pursuit for finding out what happens after people die, which is such an unnecessary subplot. Like it's
right.
You don't need to know it at all. It doesn't matter.
Here are some ads. We'll be right back.
There's so many like little things where it's like, okay, well, clearly you had in your mind a 3-hour version of this film.
Yeah.
Because you were able to shoot, 2 hours and 8 minutes of movie that then you cut 12 minutes of, and then the US TriStar cut like another fucking 15 of.
Yeah, most of which is space stuff. Yeah, but it's a sort of like his whole thing. It's like, well, that's like if that character was like the principal rather than the railsback character. Great. Okay, cool.
Well, that's also the other issue is that like this really doesn't have a protagonist per se. Carlson disappears for like 20 minutes in this
movie. A long
movie.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the psychic connection thing where it's like, what? What are we doing?
Right.
I feel like we had this before, Josh, too, where it's like, are you saying Carson or Carlson? Because it feels interchangeable
100%.
at this fucking point. There was a moment, I think, at the end where she's talking to him and she's like, Carlson, you've made it to me. It was always destined. I'm like, there's a fucking L in there?
Uh-huh. Well, because I think it's because of the way Kane says Carlson.
Yeah.
The way
Carlson.
Peter Firth
Carlson.
says it, that it sounds Carlson.
Yeah.
Like, you can't
It
really
is-
tell.
No.
The L is like almost silent, just barely said when he says it.
I wish I could remember, like, the movie that we covered, Josh, where we kind of exposed this happening before, where it was like, nobody got in the same room and was like, all right, enough. This is how you say the name.
Right.
But it was something that we covered where I was like, oh my God, they keep swapping this.
Yeah.
Famously, also to bring up Roadhouse again, the part played by Kevin Taihe as the owner of the Double Deuce, his last name is said probably 17 different ways. It's
nobody
Frank
knows.
Tilligman, it's Frank Tilleman, it's Frank Tyleman,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and they just never had a consensus. Poor Steve Railsback, no one did him the courtesy of saying, okay, everybody, let's just call him.
Where was the script
really,
supervisor?
Let's really hear the R, or hear the L on Carlson.
The script supervisor is supposed to have cans on
And pay attention to that.
and is supposed to be like making sure that this is happening.
And some of it may be ascribed to Peter Firth's accent. Okay, but yeah, I think you're right on that, Sean. By the way, Peter Firth, I looked this up, and I'm just, because I took the energy to look it up, I'm going to bring it up on air. Second lead behind Richard Burton for Equus, the Sidney Lumet movie. I have not seen that one.
Wow.
I haven't seen it either. I saw that was on his CV, but I haven't seen it, so like I don't have a relationship to it.
I was like, I know those blonde curls. Like when he
Yeah.
showed up in in Lifeforce, I was like, God, those curls are familiar. But that he was Alan in Equus is by far his probably biggest role.
I mean, it's better than Captain Second Ivan Putin in Hunt for Red October, which is another thing he did later on.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember him from that.
There's a lot of dudes in that movie, though. That's
a lot of dudes.
top tier
Maybe the
dudes
most
rock
dudes.
movie. Exactly.
I mean, to go from Equus, which critically beloved,
Critically beloved.
to Lifeforce in just 8 years.
He did Tess in between there, which is a Polanski movie I haven't seen.
Yep. I haven't seen it either.
And he didn't jump out at me as like the reason this movie doesn't work. Like to be fair.
No, I mean, sure, but it's also
Peter Firth is doing the best he can out there.
It's also one of those things when you think about what this is, and again, this to pause the conversation and talk about the expectations of what this was going to be, which they thought this was going to be one of the great sci-fi blockbusters, and they advertised it as such. They sunk money into it as such, and it's interesting to me that none of the leads are names.
No.
Right. It's kind of the same as with Excalibur, honestly.
Sure.
Like obviously we just did Excalibur, but you've got probably the worst performance of anybody in the ostensible lead, but also in Excalibur, you had like, is he the lead? Like there's so much of the movie that that
Nigel
Arthur
Terry.
isn't in.
Nigel
It's
Terry,
odd.
Yeah.
Nigel Terry, yeah.
But you have people in Excalibur who would become big names.
Oh,
And you
Patrick
don't have
Stewart.
You do
Patrick
not have
Stewart
that
here.
Lifeforce.
Is in this, and you got to remember
Patrick
this is
Stewart was in both, actually.
Patrick Stewart. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Patrick Stewart. This is like a year after Dune, right? And
Conan,
but it's
do you remember him showing up? Did you know that he was coming in Lifeforce? Other than maybe the credit?
this time I did, but it was a Patrick Stewart jump scare when I saw it last time. I was like, oh right, he's in this movie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I totally forgot because I remembered the character of it, being like, oh, this is the doctor, the asylum. I remember that character because I remember the turnaround. Aha, but it's you, and like what?
Yeah.
But to me, it was just like some guy, which is
Dr.
crazy.
Armstrong.
Which is
Dr.
crazy
Armstrong.
because I was pretty obsessed with Next Generation at the time.
Yeah.
So that means that I certainly noticed it when I saw it for the first time, but mentally redacted it until I saw it the second time, where I was then surprised by it and then retained the information for this watch.
I kept waiting for him, and I kept being like, wait, is this just like miscredited on IMDb? Because I had forgotten.
Nobody checked.
And I had seen his name and kept waiting, like, we're a fucking hour and 5 minutes. He's like the 5th credited actor.
Yeah.
It's bonkers that we have not fucking seen him yet, because we've seen a lot of people. And then he shows up, and he has asked to do some very big things, including make out with Steve Railsback.
Yeah, there's a moment in this movie that you're talking about, specifically right now, where we're watching Patrick Stewart fastened to a table and writhe around, scream.
Lots of shrieking.
And it's almost like you want to like bring up his resume that says Royal Shakespeare Company, 1966 to 1982.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
and Royal National Theater, like early 1983 to whatever. And like
And Sir Patrick Stewart.
a legitimate night. And just remind, like, almost like a pop-up video style, to be like, hey, audience, this is actually a really good actor. What you're about to see, like, don't judge him by this.
This could be apocryphal because it's from IMDb trivia, but Patrick Stewart said that Tobe Hooper is his favorite director he's worked with.
Oh my god.
That's all. I don't even know.
I don't know when that was.
And he worked
it was
with
probably
Lynch.
before like Logan, but
yeah. I mean,
it was probably right after X-Men that he did with Bryan Singer, and he's like, well, fuck that guy.
oh yeah.
So who did Patrick Stewart kill that Tobe Hooper saw and has been lording over our boy Sir Patrick?
You know what's interesting, and Next Generation invoked. So Elizabeth Sladen from Doctor Who was also considered for Space Girl, who Sarah Jane, one of the greatest.
Yeah. Olivia Hussey thought that she was, but she was actually up for a different character, apparently.
Right, and then also another one from the Doctor Who world, Janet Fielding, Tegan Javanka, also from Doctor Who, who's like, if you're in England, huge. If you're here,
Sure.
you watch PBS. I did. Marina Sirtis.
Oh, nice.
From Next Generation.
Sure.
Who, of course, Patrick Stewart worked
And
with.
Death Wish, I believe, or Death Wish 2. One of the first 2 Death Wishes.
Can I make a request out into the ether that if I direct an actor in something, and according to them, I am their favorite director that they've ever worked with, and they become a big name, fucking take me with you. You know what I mean? Because Tobe Hooper and Patrick Stewart never worked together.
Never, right? I mean,
Tobe Hooper goes off to do Invaders from Mars, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Those are the last 2. He's got a 3-picture deal starting here with Canon. So it's this, Invaders from Mars, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
And then after that, we got Spontaneous Combustion, never heard of it, Night Terrors, The Mangler, 2000's Crocodile, 2004's Toolbox Murders, 2005's Mortuary, and then 2013's Jinn or Djinn, depending on...
Gene, like the genie.
Gene.
Yeah.
Okay.
by the way, The Mangler, just for the curious, I don't know who that would be. That's the movie that's about the possessed laundry folding machine. And I'm not kidding.
Oh, nice.
Robert Englund is in it, too.
No, I'm very
I've seen
into
that one. Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm going to watch that tonight.
it's like if Robert De Niro works with Scorsese
Yeah.
in 1976 and they do Taxi Driver, and De Niro has said that Scorsese is his favorite director.
Mhm.
And then we look at Scorsese's work, and it's all like mannequin sequels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mannequin 4. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And you're like, why couldn't De Niro have done something? And so, like,
Mannequin
yes,
4 still on the move.
You're probably right, Josh, and I'm glad you said that it could be apocryphal. But, like, Patrick Stewart, this was your guy. You've worked with a lot of directors, good ones. You couldn't have thrown Tobe Hooper a bone? I mean, you got When the Whistle Blows made from extras.
Yeah, I mean, Tobe Hooper did Taken. That was early 2000s, kind of pre-prestige TV, but like, it's
but not to be confused with Taken, the
not
Liam Neeson
the
vehicle.
Liam Neeson Taken,
and also not with
one.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah,
not with Patrick Stewart.
But do you think Patrick Stewart saw it all? Seen everything?
It's too late. I've seen it all.
When this was happening and he was in it, and when he said that Tobe Hooper was his favorite director, that was when I was like, oh, that extra shit is all coming from this, right?
Yeah.
Seen it all. And I don't think he was even fortunate enough to be on set during those scenes. Like, he had, they interchanged.
I would imagine that he was on set for those scenes.
Oh, yeah. He came in on his off day. But, like, she is in the same scene with him. We just don't see her nude in that scene because they do the interchangeable who is who energy type of thing as our boy Railspec is kind of leaning over the body. And I was like, there's no way they kiss. There's no way they kiss. And then they kissed.
I mean, that this had them kiss, and it's Railsback and fucking Patrick Stewart. Like, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
the fact that we got it when I think everybody, speaking for the three of us, was like, oh, they're just going to swap him out at the last second for Maggie
They
May.
did not, and it was beautiful.
they did not. Yeah, it was as notable. Yeah, crazy. The blood that apparently she was covered with on her birthday, which was a tidbit I just love.
And the helicopter scene, yeah.
I think that also is like jarringly cool. Of like, oh wow,
yes.
like takes you out of like whatever sort of oatmeal of a storyline that we're going through, and then like, oh wow,
when she's reconstituted from their guts.
Yeah,
it is kind of a cool like what the fuck moment when their corpses basically on a helicopter. And I love how I don't really know this, but I feel like British helicopters like fly on the other side of the road because that helicopter pilot was not on the left.
Yeah, he's on the right side. Yes.
It just kind of threw me for a loop. But anyway, yeah, they basically barf blood into forming a woman made of blood, who then says something creepy, and then
to Carlson,
hard L, and then I don't know, like splooges through the bottom of the helicopter over London, and then that's in many ways kind of like what offsets or what starts the Blitzkrieg of London.
Yeah. That's where that's kind of the checkered flag going down for the race of of mayhem.
And it's kind of like when you see those two guys in that helicopter scene, it is cool, but it also is like, oh, okay, here's a little bit more of the cheap special effects, like in kind of the worst parts of John Carpenter's The Thing, where you're like, okay, that looks a little too fake. The difference is that John Carpenter's The Thing is so fucking scary.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And so for me, the blood thing absolutely works, but it works in a way that like it just shows how kind of not interesting the things that came before it were.
Sure.
And then that same way of like, oh, are they going to kiss? Are they? Oh, no, it's actually going to be that. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. Like, it's sort of like, how long have we been in this asylum? Like, what do we do? What are we doing here? And I will say, Josh, you can check me on this. The cut version, the non-director's cut version, I feel like there's way less of this asylum stuff. Like, I feel like there's a lot less time of it there, because I remember seeing the director's cut back. I don't remember there being this much of Patrick Stewart as this doctor and like this whole like tete-a-tete that they're doing here. And I have a feeling that was something that was restored in the director's cut. Which is funny because I like it. Does it add a lot to the story? I don't know. Not really. I mean,
the kiss is removed.
Okay.
The attack on Dr. Armstrong is shortened.
Okay.
Like, there are cuts there, but I don't know how significant it is.
So there's more of it in this than in the theatrical
Yes,
still
yes, there is.
Okay, cool. Okay,
In the stateside version, yes.
got it.
Conan, were you able to, when you watched that, when you watched the Blood Woman being formed, did it harken back to like childhood Conan being like, oh shit, like that? I remember it being cool then and being cool now.
Yes, that was like, I was like, oh yeah, fuck, that's badass, because it reminded me of. Did you guys see the 80s Blob? The 1980s, not the good one, not the 60s one, but there.
Yeah, the one from 87, I believe.
I saw some of it.
Or 88?
I think it's 88. Yeah, I saw some of it.
So
I think it was out the same time as Karate Kid Part 2.
That sounds about right. 88. So
Karate Kid Part 2 is 87.
the Blob. It's co-written by Darabont.
Yeah,
it's not bad as far as a remake.
As in Frank Darabont?
As on Frank
Yes.
Darabont. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
This is another one of like, again, this cavalcade of just like video rentals. There's a scene in it, and this is what I really haven't seen in a long time. But there's a scene in it that has a guy with like you see his like he's got like the blob around him, and it's like a very evocative. And I remember at the time that it was like, oh, this is like the hot girl version of that.
okay,
Like at the time, that was a long way to go for that, but
No,
but that was an evocative scene for me, which is crazy because the amount of stuff I forgot about this movie you could fill books with, but it also does not matter. It doesn't matter even a little bit. Like I remember all the mayhem very well, and I remember that like the helicopters, that they're in a helicopter for whatever reason, and then like stuff kind of like gets loose and stuff starts blowing up. But I remember that being like, that was the movie. Like, I remember it being like, she gets up, this dude wants to bone her, and like, it's, the life sucked out of him. And then they're just like destroying the place, like the entire rest of the movie, which is not what is happening at all, even a little bit. There's so much sitting around talking about what, and then like, homie kind of like comes back and like he's remembering, and actually I was the one that wrecked the radio, this and that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting, I guess. And they have a psychic connection, and there's the whole thing of like, oh, she's in another body now, and like she's seducing this like
That was so strange.
Character actor from from the north in England. Like, and we're like, what are we doing? Like, what is like, did she?
I was
just not
bummed
around
when
that
she
day?
took a different form, and we're suddenly with Ellen for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I mean,
Like that seemed completely extraneous and unnecessary.
didn't add anything.
Yeah,
Shocked that we didn't get nudity on that.
Right, yeah.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with him kissing her,
He had to kiss her, of course. I mean, that was like
Steve Railsback.
Railsback.
like,
Railsback's
very
got
bizarre.
a Railsback, Josh.
Yeah,
It's in its contract.
He just is compelled to do it. It's like,
very strange.
I don't know what it is about these beautiful women. I just start kissing them. More Unkind Rewind in just a minute.
Now, do you guys have like a relationship to Tobe Hooper?
I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre's rightly regarded as certainly one of the greatest films within horror, but has a place within like the top 500, if not the top 100 of all time.
That was made for $14,000 and made $30 million at the box office.
Right. From a picture of like budgetary filmmaking, like one of the Hall of Fames as well.
Yeah.
I think Poltergeist is very good. It's not foundationally an important movie to me, but
Right.
I do like Poltergeist.
And it's also, that comes with the added like, who directed it bullshit.
How much of it was Spielberg?
Yeah, how much of it was Spielberg? Because Spielberg was on set most of the time, even though this was happening at the same time that E.T. was getting edited.
That's right. And I even academically, because I haven't seen it in years, I saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and despite it being deeply unnecessary, because at the time I was already kind of getting down on franchise filmmaking, I thought it was pretty badass at the time. Does it hold up? I'm sure it doesn't.
Canon probably wanted a hit from their 3-picture deal with him, and they didn't get it with Lifeforce. So
Get him with Lifeforce.
go back to the well. I can understand from a business standpoint, not from a creative standpoint, but from a business standpoint, I can understand the impetus for that.
If you just broad picture it and you're like, you have a team of logic grad students and you're like, okay, this is the movie that Tobe Hooper directed, but there's a lot of kind of anecdotal evidence, I guess, that suggests that Steven Spielberg directed most of it. And then here's the movie that Tobe Hooper 100% directed with no involvement from Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
My first question is, which is a better directed film? And looking at these two pieces of evidence, do you tend to believe the rumors?
Well, and I think so, but also look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre, obviously a very different kind of movie, but it's coherent. It's very coherent. Yeah. It's very well paced.
I think there is the big issue where there is a lot of movie that they didn't get to shoot.
In what?
In this.
So then becomes a conversation of, did the ambition not meet the results? Right.
Right.
But also, like, look at what you're trying to do with this movie. You're trying to, like, do the culmination of 75 different movies and package it into one. Whereas, like, kids break down, kids in Texas go to the wrong house. Like, very, very simple. Done extremely well. But he's not trying in Texas Chainsaw Massacre to, like, find the maximum of humanity and the afterlife. You get killed, maybe you get eaten in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but there's no energy source emanating from your body at any point in that movie.
True. Well, and this is, again, we use the term elevated now, but this was an attempt at making an elevated genre picture. Because there's a lot of that happening. Yeah, again, everyone's kind of chasing the surprise hit of Alien. You know, you got The Thing that when it came out, not a hit, but gradually, especially as video became prevalent, became huge. That it became, you can have these movies that kind of hit on a bigger level, and you know, maybe it's not Douglas Sirk. You know, like it's we're talking about something entirely different now. This is OG Terminator's 84, I think, right?
Yeah.
That's another one that, like, nobody saw that coming.
Right.
Yeah, but you look at OG Terminator 84 and then, like, what the guy behind that ended up doing.
Yeah.
And continues to
Cameron,
kind of do.
You do anything recently? Yeah, I don't know.
Whereas you look at, you know, Tobe Hooper, and I think in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, shot in 73, released 74, so much innovative things that get stolen by horror movies.
Yeah.
Subsequently to that.
Agreed.
Like he's just a trailblazer in that movie in so many different aspects. And what does he do with that? And where does he go? Was it the lightning in the bottle that he used up mostly in that movie?
Well, and they were like shooting 7-day weeks on that fucking thing, like in the extreme heat. Like, honestly, reading about how Texas Chainsaw Massacre came together.
Yeah.
I'm constantly shocked that it worked at all. Like, how did that happen? And like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, he's just bringing a crew together that's basically like UTRTF people, probably, who all are at least like students of film are gonna try to figure out how to fucking make it. But like, I really don't understand how it worked.
Yeah.
Well, and it makes sense too. Also, you know, one of the other big budget ones he did, big budget, right, is Invaders from Mars. That it's perfectly valid to think like, oh, this will be our Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You know, this will be like fits nicely in that, and it didn't. It didn't at all. And then I feel like there's just so many things like I haven't seen any of these freaking movies. They look terrible. I don't want to watch them.
Right. There is the element of like, even if Spielberg didn't really direct Poltergeist, even if he didn't, he still had Spielberg's suction.
Right.
You know, Spielberg's ability to get shit like actually made versus working with Canon, who I fucking love Canon films. Like,
sure. Yeah. A lot of
Golan
good stuff
and Globus
there.
for
Golan
life,
Globus,
you know?
baby.
But they ran out of money making this. They had to shut down production multiple times, apparently. They ran out of money making this. Even though they said it was fine to go over 5 weeks, they still didn't get to shoot like all of the stuff with the male vampires.
I would be bummed if I was one of the male vampires. But
Josh, can you just give the cliff notes for the people at home, like the 3-sentence summary of Golan and Globus and Canon?
Menahem, Golan, and oh god damn it,
Yoram,
Globus, Menahem, Golan. Yeah,
they're cousins, right?
Yes, they're Israeli cousins. From my understanding and my recollection from watching Electric Boogaloo. That was the name of the documentary, right? about Canon Films? I think it was Electric Boogaloo.
I didn't know it.
Great documentary. Everyone should watch it if you can find it. But they're basically cocaine-fueled, insane Israeli. They ended up being film producers. They did what the first couple movies were like The Apple, which is one of them directed it, and it's bonkers.
Yeah.
But like they're doing all of these like it's mostly exploitative genre stuff, but they did Break In and Break Into Electric Boogaloo. They did Masters of the Universe. They did the really terrible Captain America film in 1990 or 91 that starred J.D. Salinger's kid.
They did Barfly, and Bukowski wrote that whole book, Hollywood, basically lighting those guys up, which is hilarious.
Right. And they did try to do films from time to time that were like not of their like kind of schlocky oeuvre, but they did a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, let's get in bed with, late career Charles Bronson and do a bunch of Chuck Bronson movies, which, hey, again, big Charles Bronson fan, but for not the right reasons. There's an irony involved in the Charles Bronson fandom here. So they're two like crazy lunatic Israeli producers who are basically peddling TNA and violence.
Yeah.
Like the vast majority of the Canon films are heavy on TNA and heavy on violence. And or heavy on violence, but almost always heavy on the TNA. And like it's almost always not needed.
Yeah, like American Ninja, Death Wish 4, like you said, like Cobra as them, right?
Right. They love to do a lot of this film worked for another studio. Let's pick up this franchise.
Right.
And let's ride the Death Wish franchise into a fifth iteration. They did break apart around 1990, and you had one of them do the Forbidden Dance and one of them do Lambada. To like, that was like the first like fuck you back and forth between them. Right. And actually, you know what? Captain America was just one of them. Captain America was right after their split, but
yeah. Bloodsport.
Yeah, they had a falling out, and both of them went their separate ways and had spite dancing movies at one another. In the wake of Dirty Dancing success.
Yeah. Crazy.
Well, thanks, Josh. I think that's important to know who's behind this movie.
Yes.
I think they did Superman 4 too, right? The Quest for Peace. They did. Okay, the really garbage one.
Which like killed the Superman franchise for a while?
Yeah, they killed not just a Superman franchise, it killed superhero movies for years until Burton's Batman.
Well, Howard the Duck helped do that too. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Now, I think it's also instructive that on the first day that dailies came in, where Matilda May had done nude scenes, producers, and by producers, I think we can all assume we're talking about Yoram Globus and Menachem Golan. Producers said, more of this, please.
Yeah.
So then they had to scramble around to get even more nudity of Matilda May crammed into this movie.
Which you could argue is almost not possible.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it was, because there's a bunch of it that was like too, my impression is that it's too labia forward. And so that there was a lot of footage that did not make it into the film because of that. So.
Yeah. Oh God. There's some real creepy, like they wanted her to look more alien. So they had her shave. Right. And then they're like, well, now you look more like a child. So that's kind of like.
Like a doll child with massive.
Tobe Hooper wanted that though. Tobe Hooper had her shaved, and then I think it was hair and makeup were like kind of on her side, and we're like, no, this looks fucked up. You can't do this.
Yeah, this is not cool.
And there are so few people on her side in this movie.
Yeah.
He would come in and say, oh, we need her trimmed up, and they would like cut off little bits of wig and put it on the floor to like trick Tobe Hooper into thinking that she had been trimmed up and shaped. But weird day for all involved, I'm sure. The Daily Mons Pubis inspection.
I was going to say the pube report, but that works too.
Yeah.
This won a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film and Best Special Effects.
With cause. I mean, some of the effects are decent. I'm not going to say they're not. Like, sure, maybe the blue light stuff is cribbing from Ghostbusters. And I think actually isn't Highlander the next year, or is it 85
Some
also?
of the Boar stuff is the kind of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronic.
Yeah,
gasping.
for sure.
Highlander is 86, so it's Highlander's next year. So maybe it's a who stole from who kind of situation.
Right.
It does look cool. I got the animatronics. Some of it's a little goof ass and a little bit Evil Dead, but
Right.
With the budget they had, I think a lot of the practical effects work. I'm not mad at it. It's just
Right.
funny to see it in a.
The space stuff is what looks the worst.
It really, I mean, good writing, good performing, a good story, compelling narrative, all the building blocks of a movie can buy you this leash with special effects. And that some of the cheapest special effects have had kind of the most haunting resonance with me, the longest lasting kind of nightmare fuel, because of the story I'm so invested in, and because what's happening is actually scaring me. And so I'm able to kind of go like, oh, that doesn't look like 100% realistic, but the practicality of it, and the stuff with putting my hands through someone's chest when I'm defibrillating them, like in 82's The Thing.
Yeah.
I'm so scared at that point that I'm okay to go like, okay, well, the dogs look a little weird when they get transformed, and the guy whose blood's tested, it looks a little, little fake. Holy shit, it's almost going to scare me more to have kind of a cheap special effect.
Yeah.
than just some CGI total glaze.
Right.
Where I'm not seeing
some Netflix crap. Yeah, where they just
some Netflix crap.
This is saved by it effectively not having CGI.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how they would have done the blue light effects that are sort of like ghostly.
And I recently watched the Kobayashi anthology movie Quiden, which was quite good, which was amazing and more than likely an influence on Paul Schrader, one of my favorite films, Mishima Life in 4 Chapters.
Sure.
That tells these stories, and it's really good, but it's painted sets. It's very clearly they took like an aircraft hangar and then like built all the sets within there. And some of it is like so clearly, if you look at the constituent parts, it looks cool, but it doesn't look realistic. But within the framework of what they're doing and these excellent stories they're telling with powerful performances, it transcends and becomes something different. And in the same way, look at The Wizard of Oz, right? Wizard of Oz in the same way. Like, why is this one of the most enduring movies of all time? Well, it's not because it had, at the time they were state-of-the-art special effects, some of which literally killed some of the people involved with it. But bad special effects, in retrospect for us, again, it's bad and it is at least practical. It exists, it's tactile, it has a gravity, it has a presence in the real world, which is something that no matter how many times people say it, nobody seems to want to address in this modern CGI slop weightlessness BS that we have to suffer through.
Right.
So when I say it's some goof-ass looking stuff, it's because it's some goof-ass looking stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd still prefer that to a CGI fest,
Yes.
like Ant-Man and or Ant-Man, the Quantum
Mania, unwatchable.
Mania, like unwatchable.
Unwatchable.
So fucking bad. There's not a hard surface in that movie.
Right. And ruined the most grounded and interesting of that franchise movies. Because it was the only, first of all, it was the only character centered that had come from a working class background.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to get into a conversation about Ant-Man, but we just ruined, hey, let's take everything that was good about this and not do any of that. And just put a bunch of gormless nonsense in it. Sounds great. So when I say it's goof-ass special effects, it's more because you're not engrossed by the narrative. You can't fucking understand the narrative half the time. Pardon my French.
Right. And I do think that part of this is because, like, we have O'Bannon and his writing partner, Don Jacoby writing this.
Who also did Return of the Living Dead as well.
And they wrote Invaders from Mars after this for Tobe Hooper. But they also did O'Bannon wrote Total Recall.
He wrote Total Recall, exactly. Adapting the short story from Philip K. Dick, which is no mean feat.
So I do suspect that the scripted version of this made sense. And
there's maybe some coherence on the page that didn't end up on the screen.
Right. And they had two guys, Michael Armstrong and Olaf. What's his fucking last name? Olaf Pooley. They did some uncredited rewrites, but that's probably because of the Matilda May stuff, I would guess. But you have a studio that runs out of money while making this movie. You have a studio that also, the instant they see Matilda May nude, it's like, more of that, please.
Yeah. We're into this whole succubus thing. Yeah, it's great.
Right. I think you have the entirety of this thing undercut by things that are at least somewhat outside of Tobe Hooper's control.
Yeah.
I think there may have been a coherent movie in here, and that we don't get the scenes from that movie.
Well, it's
but
all
I
in the
think the
middle.
coherent version of this is also probably 3 hours long because of what they're trying to do.
Sure, it's all in the middle. I think the beginning and the ending, whatever they're attempting to accomplish versus whatever was accomplished. I'm not going to necessarily say it works. I'm going to say it does what it needs to do. But the middle is just so uneven, so draggy, and just the most baffling decisions ever. Just like seems like it made it. It's like okay, the shooting script was made by cocaine. Is what it sounds like,
Yes, it's that time.
Can I just read, this is very, very, very late in the movie.
I was hoping that this was going to be fanfic, but
This
sure.
is not fanfic. Josh and I, let's talk off mic about that.
Yeah,
Maybe Conan can jump in on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is
For patrons.
Carlson/Carson
Yeah.
and Kane as they're looking at London across the river, right?
Sure.
And fires are burning and, all the blue lights are kind of rising up from the
Now,
city.
you dictated this yourself, right? Or you took dictation from the film? You transcribed it?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
And they're both looking and kind of staring off into the void. They're shoulder to shoulder, and he says, "I'm not going to do his terrible El Paso accent here, but it's all those little lights, the blue ones, going up towards the clouds. Those are individual human energy bundles." Guy says, "How do you know that?" "Well, I feel it. They're using all the people they've converted to steal the energy for them. The process of conversion releases the life energy, and then it can be collected." Talks about the umbrella that is flying over the fucking planet. She is the focus of this. The male is collecting the energy, but he has to send it through her to get it up to the collector. She's over there. I get flashes coming from her body. It's sensitive to its environment. It picks up things. If I go across the river to the city, the contact will be stronger. The male will come if he senses I've found her. She's drawing me anyway. I have to go. She wants back the energy she gave me. When they adjust to a new life form, they must learn that life form, mate with it, in a sense. The girl chose me, but when she mixed with me, she gave me part of herself. Now she wants that part back. Then she'll be complete. She won't need her body at all. She'll be free to leave London permanently and love everybody on Earth. And if you fell asleep in the middle of that, Unkind Rewind listeners,
Yeah.
same.
It is such an exposition dump.
What are we doing? That's with like 20 minutes left to go. We get that.
That's right.
Yeah, we finally understand what everything's about.
Yeah, we're batting cleanup now.
I wonder if this is like week 6 or 7 of production, and Tobe Hooper is, I mean, obviously his producers don't give a shit about this, but Tobe Hooper and Dan O'Bannon and whoever the other writer is are just going
Don
like,
Jacoby.
Don Jacoby, they're like, we're so fucked. Like, what can we do here? Can we wrap this?
This was something that was probably explained in one of the scenes they realized they weren't going to be able to film. In the sequence of scenes that they weren't going to be able to film with the male vampires or some shit, where it's like, oh, okay, none of this is even going to happen. So now we need to find a way to get this exposition dump. So they're like on the soundstage, the helicopter's on the soundstage, and it's like, okay, well, let's just get this, like, can you memorize this fucking nonsense?
You got
Rails back?
soldiers running around in the background. It was probably a bitch to shoot. He probably was reading cue cards at this moment. But, like, how long did I just talk, guys?
It's
20 minutes?
It's a long time. Yeah, it's a long time for uninterrupted exposition.
Let's wrap up the bow on this movie.
I mean, that's got to be like a page of screenplay.
Yeah.
That is just that, like, diarrhea dump of exposition.
And the only thing you have to break it up is curly-haired Equus actor going like, is that so?
Oh, you don't say.
Carlson?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, interesting.
Huh.
That's the only thing, other than this just being a monologue.
Yeah.
That we have poor curly hair going like, yes, well, that's just quite the pickle, isn't it? I just feel like that is kind of the summation of like so many problems in this movie, to be like, let's just barf out a minute of exposition before we get to our finale, just so kind of we make sure everybody's on the same page. And nobody is on the same page at that point, right?
No. Like you mentioned way early on, Josh, you don't, people, the direction of who's a vampire and who's a zombie and what's the differentiation, you know?
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Who can change? Who is done changing?
Yeah.
Who is still a problem? Who is still dangerous even if they're dead? Like, once Patrick Stewart and the other guy kind of barf out the blood to form Blood Girl, are they then both okay? Or are those bodies still biological hazards?
There's a 2-hour limit that if they, you know, if they don't...
the 2-hour limit,
Yeah, and that's notable. Like, okay, well, there's 2 hours, then they turn to dust. Okay.
Thank God that this space sentient being is still like adhering to kind of like our human engineered construct of like what an hour is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's handy, isn't it?
Here's a really great thing in the beginning of the movie where they're like, the spaceship Churchill, 2:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. I'm like, oh, fucking thanks.
Yeah.
Like, thank God that we know that's the middle after the
It's gonna
afternoon.
be worried.
You know who that was?
Was it Tobe Hooper?
John Larroquette.
No.
Really? Wow.
No.
It says it's John Larroquette on IMDb, I think.
I mean, it's the funniest thing Larroquette's ever done, is to give me the fucking time of day in a movie set in space.
Yeah, but he's apparently the narrator for that opening.
Love it. That's a crazy tidbit. You know what's crazy about this movie? You know who's a big fan of it? Quentin Tarantino. Big fan of Lifeforce. Has called it out multiple times in interviews as
That
one
makes
he
sense.
saw a bunch in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of exposed feet in this movie. A lot of, like, women's feet with or without rubber soles that you see in this movie.
Yeah, he's a Lifeforce advocate. So
I wonder if part of it, I mean, other than just the female nudity, I wonder if part of it is, like, I just kind of want to be ironic and super film nerdy and drop a Lifeforce reference on here.
it's cooler to mention Lifeforce than Texas Chainsaw. Yeah.
The right answer is to be a fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He also likes grindhousey stuff, and this does present as like hyper elevated grindhouse to a certain degree because the nonsensical logic, the massive exposition dump, so well performed, Sean. Thank you earlier. Where it's just like, okay, why didn't we get this like an hour? Like you could have teased this out over the course of like the last 3 hours we've been watching this movie instead of just dropping it all at the end right before the
Where
final
he's
sequence.
just sensing this, apparently.
Yeah. How do you sense that level of detail?
Also, I had to up the performance level on that monologue earlier,
Yeah,
just
it's
to make it more interesting than when Railsback did it.
Yeah, and it's like there's nothing, which is okay. Sorry, because the Mancini score good, but does so much heavy lifting for trying to like more heavy lifting than anything I've seen. Honestly, something I'll tell you that I've seen more heavy lifting with Hamnet. Crazy amount of heavy lifting by the score telling you what you're seeing is important while the things on screen are not actually that important. Not since Lifeforce.
We started and kind of ended with this like bum 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 bum. It reminded me of the NFL films. Josh, I think we just talked about this. Like the autumn wind is a pirate.
Yeah.
The Raiders were down 14. Bum 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 bum.
Well, we talked about this because it's very akin to Excalibur, frankly.
Oh, yeah. And Orff, how much Orff and Wagner are kind of throughout that.
Right. So it's got a pomposity to it. It's kind of
Yeah.
grandiose feeling. And because of that, it gives, again, it gives you the trappings of elevated cinema.
Wait, are we saying this isn't elevated?
More on the Unkind Rewind in just a minute. Josh, I know we're kind of loose on this, but what are the pertinent things that we want to cover with Conan?
I mean, I think we can go to picking up the scraps. Are there just random tidbits that we wanted to throw out there at this point?
We touched on the design of that freaking iron weapon. Okay, first of all, where'd you get that?
Yeah.
Is that just laying around?
Is it like a mace
We may have
with
all
a-
missed it. It's possible we all missed where that came from. But it would be odd for all three of us to not pick up on that. And if we didn't, and it happened, then I would say that it wasn't clear enough at all.
You give me like a display case cut away, and he goes, "What's that?" "Oh, that's an old thing from the 1500s we found, and we're not quite sure, but it doesn't show up on any chemical periodic table." Whatever. Okay, fuck. It takes 10 seconds to do that.
It's from the last time they came. Maybe they did say that, actually. I don't know.
Sure. Okay. But like that's if you're gonna have a machine of God, maybe take the time to actually introduce it instead of just being like, oh, there it is in a dude. Like, okay, and he's telling you what happened over the phone, which is honestly kind of a flex narratively. That I actually kind of like. Of just like, I'm not going to bother you showing what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened while you see in the foreground the results of it. That's audacious enough that I kind of like it, even though it's barely forgivable in a movie like this where there's so many egregious just flaws in logic and just narrative dysfunction. But I don't mind it, especially because it's like, all right, we're really going to see like a fight scene between, the Ubermensch over here and and the white-haired Doctor Who day player. Yeah.
Yeah.
And later on, like the male model that would become the giant bat, he didn't really seem too concerned that blonde Curly had like the vampire slaying weapon.
Yeah.
He was like, "Come on to me, bro.
Yeah.
Live it up." And then of course he's run through. I mean, I have so many little scraps, Josh. I'm just going to kind of give you a couple here. I wrote the word silhouette.
I get it. Okay.
Very large on that wall.
Yeah, well, I guess they wanted not to have an X rating, right? That was the rationale.
I was also like, we can show that there's people in a space shuttle and that they're in zero gravity without having to like invert the camera and watch the scene upside down.
Yeah.
Expect a little bit from your audience.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask Josh what he knows of, or if he can explain to me what soft docking means.
I definitely noted soft docking.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Seems like something that would have caught your ear.
Yeah.
And I'll say, like, if there's a desiccated corpse that becomes reanimated, looks like a demon, either show that a doctor is hypnotized by doing a close-up of his eyes or something, that he has no control over his body, or just don't have that doctor go give him a hug. You can pick one of the two. And lastly, I was like, how many glass doors does somebody have to run through at that institute in order to get to the, like, operating room? It was like, did they just go to Costco and like, can we get as many like police station style glass doors?
Yeah.
How many do you need? How many you got? Yeah, exactly.
Well, we sell them in batches of
We're going to need all of them.
I mean, you got to buy at least 20.
Turns out we're over budget. We spent all on glass doors. Okay.
And then later when they got them, they're like, "Oh, we thought you meant 20 bundles." So there's 20 bundles of 20.
Okay.
And then Hooper's like, "Fuck it, use them all."
No returns.
What do you guys got for scraps?
I did enjoy that this is like one of those rash of mid-'80s comet movies because of Halley's Comet.
Halley's Comet, sure.
Haley phobia,
yep.
you might say.
Yep.
The great comic panic of the mid-'80s.
Yeah, because there's Night of the Comet, which I love.
Mm-hmm. Comet, good.
There was that Mark Twain thing that obviously Mark Twain was born and died when Halley's Comet came. Right. But there was that Mark Twain, like, wasn't it claymation thing that came out in the mid-'80s?
Oh,
that's like this. About Samuel Clemens. You know?
Okay.
But that was a weird thing.
Coherence is a recent Comet movie.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you guys seen Coherence?
Yeah, Coherence is great. I love when is Moorhead and Benson going to be given the opportunity to do something that's an original project with a budget? Because they've done so much with almost nothing. I like all their movies. They're all really good. They made Loki and Moon Knight interesting and or palatable. And I mean, the second season of Loki is basically the best season of Doctor Who I've seen in years. You know, compliment. But they just, for whatever reason, they just won't let them do anything that's outside of IP. And as even like Something in the Dirt, I thought that was interesting. Coherence, great. Resolution, great. Moorhead and Benson, everybody. Come out next week. Anyway.
Oh, apparently in 1983, they announced that John Gielgud, Klaus Kinski, and Olivia Hussey were going to be in this. Late 83, because this went into production February of 84, February 2nd.
Wow.
So In late 83, there was a teletext movie news section that announced those three as appearing in this movie. And I know Gielgud said that the original amount of money that they said he was going to make was like obscene. And then when they came back to him, it was like half of what they originally promised. Oh, so obviously that's some Golan and Globus special business being done there.
Who is Klaus Kinski going to be? Dr. Hans? That wouldn't make sense.
I would assume so.
Oh, man. That would turn this into a totally different kind of movie. But, like...
Yeah. Klaus Kinski was cast as Space Girl.
Just hanging brain the whole time. Yeah. Sure.
But, yeah, that would have been a weird, very different movie from this, I think. Again, I think Hussey was not going to be Space Girl.
I mean, there's not a lot of women in this movie.
This is a movie buying four dudes.
This is a Bechdel fail.
Exactly. Yeah, we've covered a lot of it. When I think of like Hammer horror movies with this, but like done in like a sci-fi setting.
Hooper
right?
felt like he was getting to make his Hammer horror movie with this.
That makes sense. And again, I'm someone that I can enjoy things on multiple levels.
Sure.
I'm not against those, I think there's a time and there's a place, but it's just trying to do so much. And it's funny. I think it can come back to like one of my scraps would just be, I was shocked by how much I'd forgotten multiple times over watching this movie,
right,
including an entire plot.
Because I think they just throw an impossible amount of shit at the wall.
Exactly, and it's too much. It's too many ideas. It's too many unfulfilled subplots, side quests, where it's like you don't need any of that. You have a cool concept, space fucking vampires. Great. You don't need any of the rest of that stuff. And I feel like there's probably a version of this that the Doctor kind of, with his passion for finding what happens after you die and afterlife and so on, like plays a bigger role. Okay. But that's not on the screen anywhere.
Right.
So you just have these like befuddling little speeches given now and then. We're like, what? What's that? What's he on about? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I think the conflicted lead who's like under her spell, but then also, spoiler alert for Lifeforce, everybody, like stabs her and him through the heart, but then they get beamed up to like the honestly kind of cool design for the spaceship. I'm not mad at the design for the spaceship, and then they just fucking bail and that's the ending. And it's like, okay, so I guess see you next comet? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what?
See you next comet. Yeah, because they're both going to be dead by the time they see this next.
Yeah. Like, it would be almost a more interesting movie to be like, well, how do they deal with this? Like, what's the next day look like? Right? Where you have like havoc in this section of London, body count untold. They have to explain the quickening,
the 28 days later of this.
Right. Yeah. That would be badass. I would love to see a movie like that because it seems like, nobody involved has a cogent explanation of what's going on.
Right.
So what is that? Just they probably just default to cover up, I guess. I don't know. But I do like a big swing, right? I do. I love a big swing. It's just befuddling. It's befuddling how many things that this tries to do. And you guys kind of hit, and I guess I had an easier time with the space stuff before you started poking holes in it. It's like, God, there's so much of that. You don't need them running around in space that much. Like, we get it. You can accomplish this in like 6 minutes.
That should be 5 minutes of screen time.
Exactly.
You could have him being like the post-mortem kind of talk, cigarette, ashtray full of cigarettes, cup of coffee, styrofoam cup or whatever, and he's giving his
it's like the
soul
debrief.
Survivor.
It's like the debrief. Yeah, 100%. And it's better.
They spent a lot of money on the sets, basically, and they had to have some of that money be on the screen.
We get a really good debrief the next year in Aliens.
That's true.
Did IQs just drop suddenly while I was away?
Everyone's sniffing gasoline.
Lads, I'm going to send you guys here in the chat the official Lifeforce poster over in UK to just try to...
That's much more accurate.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
This is perhaps before they cast, what's her name? Because they have two naked blonde women strapped to phallic escape pods being blasted out of... I think some type of nebula spaceship thing.
It kind of looks like a shrubbery. Maybe, I guess.
Oh yeah, like a black shrubbery
Out of a bush.
out of a bush, which
there you
these
go.
women do not
Yeah.
show that they have. This is probably
And both of the spaceships are phallic in nature, and so
Very,
we've got
very,
these two naked women strapped to dongs being shot out of a bush in space.
and this isn't even like fan created. These are among the official, and I would
Yeah.
encourage. Conan mentioned very, very early on that the poster for this movie could kind of be anything. It's a bit of a Rorschach test.
You see the Earth that has Lifeforce in a cool font, and there's like a thing that looks like an eye with like octopus
Right,
tentacles.
where you see this and you're like, okay, like maybe this is like the prequel to Cocoon, maybe
Yeah.
this is the sequel to Starman. Like there's a lot of ways to kind of interpret this. At no point does what happened in the movie is conveyed through the official poster.
No way.
It is an absolute bait and switch, which is why I think a lot of people got tricked on this movie,
Now, you brought up Cocoon.
as I often do.
This opened against Cocoon.
Oh, okay.
This did not obviously do better than Cocoon, as we've done that film as well, and that film did very well at the box office. So the budget of this was $25 million. Did you guys look up what this made?
Budget's 25. I'm
25.
guessing it
$25.
made 25
I do it
pounds,
with Quentin
Conan.
Tarantino. You bought tickets twice.
Conan, it was 25 pounds.
Sorry, please. We got there.
I only have domestic box office figures for this.
I'll say 11. I'll say
11.6, yeah.
yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, this is
Should we move on? Should we?
Yeah, let's move on to major gripes.
I'm just looking at the rest of these posters, and they're all, every one of them, it looks like no one's seen this movie. Like,
No.
Yeah.
No. Let's do major gripes, but let's keep it to major gripe. What's
like
your biggest
just
problem?
one, just to get us out of here at a reasonable time. So, major gripe, starting with Conan, what was your biggest gripe with the film this go around?
I mean, I can just chalk it all up to narrative coherence. There's a bunch of freaking more characters than you need, more plot than you need, and you get all of the explanations for everything in a big exposition jump 20 minutes before it's over. What are we doing?
I mean, I double down completely on what Conan just said. I think that's spot on. This movie is kind of fucked as soon as they hit print on the screenplay. And also, I just think Steve Railsbeck is just a fucking douche. He's not handsome enough to carry this movie, considering how much close-up action he gets on his face. And for him to kind of be both sexually drawn to evil, it's such a nerd boy fantasy.
Yeah.
Yes.
This movie.
Yes.
But also kind of have this like Disney Prince Charming effect when he kisses women that they faint and they're so enraptured by him as well. And he's just a douche. He's just a, God love you. Maybe you're a nice guy out there, but you're the biggest failure from the Strasbourg Actors Studio. Fucking come at me.
I think if we look down the alumni of Lee Strasberg Studio, there may be others, but he's on the short list of...
With a filmography like this, with this many credits?
Talking about the star of Hitcher 2.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not even the star.
Well, she's somebody that's worked this much that we're all like completely in the dark of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Josh?
I think we actually need more Matilda May in this. But I'm not saying from a nudity standpoint.
Just more of the
I
character.
think we got enough of that.
Yeah.
But I do think that we need to be with her as the, Familian fucking space vampire. I think we need more of her as that. I think we need to follow that more and get a better sense with a show not tell sort of
a character
method.
Maybe rather than just
right to like actually give her character some agency, or some, not even agency, she has agency I guess, but give her some sense of a developed storyline,
right?
Because right now, or as it is, we don't get that at all.
It's just wandering around basically, and
she couldn't have a space vampire robe, that just kind of came with the thing. Instead, we just got to have her naked. And like, I was gonna say, not to rail on my boy Railsbeck here, but like,
I think he's catching a lot of flack, but it's all right.
To further rail on him, the ultimate scene where he's intertwined with a nude 19-year-old big-breasted French woman. Yeah. And the script still has the audacity to say, and I quote, "What are these feelings? Why do I feel so close to you?
I wonder why.
Are you fucking kidding?"
And he's so he was born in 1945. This comes out in 85. So he's like 41 too.
Yeah.
Not to get into the age gap discourse thing, but yeah, that is like, I mean, look, nice work if you can get it.
I mean, at least look like John Hamm or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So yeah, he's just a dumpy looking dude. Sorry.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my wife hates John Hamm.
Oh,
Okay.
Well.
Yeah, he has got to get that in there, even when we don't bring up John Hamm.
Yeah. She hates John Hamm and Jason Bateman. Hates them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
She's
but
unique.
it's funny to me that she hates them so much. So whenever they come up, I feel like they need to be mentioned. That needs to be mentioned.
Fair enough.
But
I was only using John because he's like objectively handsome by most metrics, and by a lot of women thinking that he's handsome. And this movie would have done a little bit better. Just thinking of
the ladies and getting
A
a
leading
matinee
man.
idol.
yeah, if you have like a Kurt Russell or something, even.
Oh, Kurt
Great,
Russell would have been
right?
great.
You know,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, movie fixed.
yeah, fix
Yeah.
the movie. I would believe it.
That I mean, honestly, the movie works with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conan just fixed it.
Yep. So there's the fix.
Yeah,
so
there's the
fix this
fix.
movie for today. Conan just did
There we
it.
go.
Conan just did
Everyone go home now.
it. Yeah.
I can't beat that
I mean,
Let's just stop recording right now, guys.
because even with the script that he's handed, Kurt
Yeah.
would have found
Yeah.
humor that this movie needed. He would have found
he's
some
got
humanity to
panache.
it.
He has presence, which this dude does
Yes.
not have. This dude's like a freaking black hole.
He can intuit how to make a movie
And
good.
he would have cocked his eyebrows and go and said at least once or twice like, "Wait, are you telling me blank blank blank?" And that's how you get the exposition
Yeah.
across.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Then you can get like, all right, we gotta get these 3 pages in under 5 minutes. Okay, he's got it. It works in the thing. We're Big Trouble, Little China. Great.
Jeez. I mean, now all we need to do is figure out how to time travel Conan back to 1984
Yeah.
and have him sit in
in
on
the
the
room.
writer's room.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we fixed the movie. We don't even need to fix the movie for today.
No, we don't.
Saving graces. What was your favorite moment or element of the film? Starting with our guest, Conan.
Despite it feeling somehow unearned, I do love all the mayhem. And I love the idea of there just being this unexplained phenomenon. Everyone's going crazy, stuff blowing up, cars are crashing into each other. And again, in my memory, it was because basically everyone's like, wow, there's this naked hot chick.
Sure.
That like as a kid, that was my memory. And that's not really what was happening.
No,
But
no, not at all.
I think at least a third of it works really well and is bold, which is to say that if you think about two abstract concepts, which is not just vampires, but vampires from space, okay, and the titular life force being like the chi or the soul or whatever. So rather than being a blood-based situation, you're talking about someone's actual energy. I think we've seen that a lot since this. And it's more of a normalized concept. But at the time, that was pretty heady. And I think that's interesting. I think that works. And that's... is it one of the reasons to watch it? I don't know. Not necessarily, because it doesn't... It works like C+ level.
Yeah.
And that can be enough if you're in the right mood and you're not into like heavy critical thinking or anything.
Sure.
Because this movie, as much as I've been just busting chops out the entire time, it is kind of cool. It's a cool movie. Is it coherent? No, I didn't say that. I said it was cool.
No. Yeah. Sean, what's your favorite moment or element of the film?
I mean, as far as elements, I guess just the courage to approach a movie with the impetus of what if a 40-year-old heterosexual man has never seen a naked woman before? And how can we run with that?
I'm compelled to you somehow. I know how.
Why do I feel so... What are these feelings?
Yeah.
You're a fucking horn dog,
You
dude.
miss sex ed, huh?
And
All right.
she's a hot naked chick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I mean, I gotta say, I have a little bit of a hat tip to that they actually made Railsbeck and Stewart kiss.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Part of the fascination, too, is like the amount of work and the amount of production design that goes into this movie. And like, this thing is going to be in existence forever. And even like, and how you'll always have to like, if you've worked on this movie in any capacity, you are aligned to it. And you could have worked really, really hard for fucking 7 weeks and this is the output. I even thought about that on a very microcosmic level of like, here's two guys that get slathered in flame retardant gel and have to like be ignited and writhe around screaming on fire with no special effects for the movie Lifeforce.
Yeah, it's a living.
And that tickled me.
Yeah.
And then just maybe on kind of like a no irony, I did think when British Tony Bennett, the Doctor, kind of died.
Peter Finlay.
Peter Finlay.
Frank Finlay.
Frank Finlay, yeah. I think that the actual special effects to get his face bubbling, I thought was actually really cool.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's Klaus Kinski? Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, man. He wouldn't have
That would have been so much bigger.
Exactly. And I kind of feel like that maybe is what this needed, that the three male leads are all kind of like, not snoozy necessarily, but they're not like these vivacious personalities or anything. And and out of three, you think one would have. I mean, I guess Peter Firth kind of showed the best out of all of them. But even then, like, for a movie with this much crazy shit happening, it shouldn't be so somnambulant.
Right.
You already fixed this movie.
Yeah, we got it.
So like,
we nailed it. Yeah.
There's so few more points other than just what Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, Conan was like 7 when they needed him.
Yeah, exactly.
The obvious saving grace of this film is Matilda May.
I mean, does it have to be said?
Someone had to.
Yeah,
I'll follow my sword for this.
Yeah,
okay.
you're very brave to say that, Josh.
I think specifically the blood scene in the helicopter is like inarguably pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, with the kind of like modern day ubiquity of female nudity, it's less of a like important seminal, no pun intended, moment to kind of have like a young hot woman that is in her birthday suit for most of this movie. But in 85,
something on her actual birthday too.
Yeah, poor girl. But in 85, this must have just been like, it must have just blown the minds of sort of young men, old men, everything in between, lesbian women, to have a character in a non-sexual kind of, this is a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
This is not a Red Shoe Diary.
Right.
To have this kind of level of full frontal nudity, I think is trailblazing in some ways.
So, did everyone have a good time with Lifeforce?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I did feel the runtime.
Yeah, you definitely feel the runtime. I suspect that it does make it a little more coherent.
Yeah.
But probably not enough to earn the runtime unless it's... I don't know how much of the nudity is cut in the 101-minute cut.
I feel like none of it.
To make this movie... to make this movie, like, enjoyable for the more tawdry elements for the audience, I kind of think it's necessary. Because I don't know how much... If this movie didn't have that, no one would ever talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the thing to note, it's not like a Russ Meyer joint or something, right?
No.
Like it doesn't present that way, and I think we have a lexicon for it. Oh, okay, so this is Skinamax. This is, so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of...
There's effectively one sex scene.
Stars has kind of taken that over in the modern parlance,
yes,
right?
100%.
Okay, but it's not. Yeah, it isn't those things. Like it is. So it's interesting that it's so prevalent, but it's not like the focus. It's not like,
yeah, it's not overtly sexual.
Hey guys, unzip it.
Right.
Here we go. We're doing this.
Yeah, it's not okay. Well, we have to have a sex scene by minute X, and we have to, hit all of those Skinamax beats. It's somehow
so you can
not
imagine
that,
what
even though
next.
It's wildly exploitative.
Oh, he fixes the cable. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do this movie, though, and you have our lead space girl dressed up as like Ursa from Superman 2, neither of the three of us nor anybody is probably talking
It's just
about
the movie. It's just
100%.
Yeah.
No one would ever talk about this now if it were not for the Matilda May nudity.
That's true. It's the only reason I know her name.
Yes.
So when you ask Josh, what was my visit to Lifeforce like, I'm going to say, I'm not disappointed I watched this movie.
And I feel like we could talk for 3 more hours about it too, which is crazy because it's like,
right.
It's not like
because it's not good enough to have warranted that much discussion, but somehow
it's something that it feels like it's so close to something like profound that it's almost annoying.
Yeah.
But I think like if you told the filmmakers at the time that, checking my clock here, 40 years plus later, that three guys would spend 2+ hours talking about your movie, they'd all nod and go, yes,
Of course.
yes, of course.
Yeah. Yes, of course you're going to. We're making a masterpiece there.
Unironically, I suppose. Yes, quite. Like they expected this level of appreciation.
Yeah. So before we say goodbye to listeners at home, where can they find you, Conan?
Yeah, at Conan Neutron, most things, neutron.bluesky.com, neutronfriends.bandcamp.com for the music. You can find the band out on tour, Large Portion of Spring with Red Cross, and some shows with Mike Watt. So check the website for that, neutronfriends.com, or any of the things that you normally check, I guess. We have more stuff coming up for summer and fall as well, yet to be announced at this juncture. ProtonicReversal.com, weeklies, Thursdays, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific. Stream live, podcasted later. A bunch of great episodes coming on for that. Patreon.com/ProtonicReversal, $1 a month, advance access. And of course, Movie Night Extravaganza, which at the time of this recording, we're just about to start to move into our coverage of the Academy-nominated movies of the year that we haven't already covered, which I'm excited about because there's some good ones this year. Also Hamnet. And I'm excited to talk about those. Josh, you're coming on for Begonia, I believe, if I remember right, which is great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we slowly intermingle the shows, of course, Sean, check out in the archives, a great episode of Memories of Murder.
Love that movie.
Wildly underrated director Bong film. Movie Night Extravaganza, you can find that on all the podcast apps, all the podcast stuff. Subscribe on YouTube. It's a good time. I mean, I think it's
really fun.
There's a clear corollary between like this show and our show. The only thing is we cover better movies than you do.
Right. By design, we do not.
Today being the exception.
By design, we cover much worse movies.
Yeah, like you guys bought the ticket to take the ride on this, which I appreciate. But what I like about this show, because I'm not into shows where people just, let's talk about this movie and just crap on it for 2 hours.
Right.
I don't care about that. That's not interesting to
Right.
me. So there's something kind of cool with this because it's playing with the nostalgia of it, the personal stories of the viewer, so on and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very interesting. And I would say that even if I didn't know you guys. I mean, I said that before I came on the goddamn show.
Yeah. we were like in a mutual appreciation club.
Yeah.
Where we liked
cool
the
show.
thing that the other one did.
Yep. So that's all what's going with me. Caterwaul, June 5th, 6th, and 7th in Minneapolis.
Okay, the dates are firm. Yeah, I forgot.
Assuming ice doesn't burn it down. No offense. In between.
It may happen. Well, I mean, today, there was the threat of the army being brought in.
Yeah,
so
I saw that.
by the time this drops, the army may have descended upon fucking Minnesota.
So if not...
Well, we'll be on the lookout for a new co-host, Conan, once Josh is Guantanamo.
Extraordinarily renditioned, yeah.
Yep.
I don't know when you sleep, Conan.
I'm a pretty busy guy, yeah. Sleep?
Yeah.
What's that? No, yeah. There's a couple other videos coming for Way of the Neutron, the record we put out last year.
Nice.
But going to be a lot more touring this year as well. And caterwaul.org, I think at this point, depending on when people are listening, advance tickets are probably up already. If not, they will be soon. That's got to be it, right? That's got to be it, yeah.
And with respect to like the good movies that you do and the bad movies that Josh and I do on the Unkind Rewind, like we're not picking these. These are your
a guest
fucking
pick?
movies that you grew up with.
Dude, this is why
You did this to us.
This is why we program the show the way we program it. And the one exception is that we usually, when someone's on as a first guest, let them pick the movie. And we have a very nice list that's like, hey, any of these.
I could have done 15 of those movies.
I know, that list is amazing.
I think we do a good job of making putting that level of effort to be low in there, but it may not have the like, this is the show where we cover this thing. Like my friends Kevin McKenzie have a show called Austin Danger Podcast, which is a loosely curated podcast about not just Austin Powers, but like everyone that has been in Austin Powers or worked on Austin Powers, other movies like tied to them. And the tortured logic is hilarious because they get like way off in the weeds on it. But that's a very specific niche.
Sure.
I think with like Movie Night Extravaganza, it's just like, well, it's just movies we like. Sometimes we sort them by theme, sometimes we don't. And the idea is that what we're bringing to it is like it's coming from an informed place, but it's funny and entertaining as well. Mm-hmm. And I think some shows can do one, and some shows can do the other. And my favorite shows are the ones that can do both.
Right. Same. Well, Conan, thank you.
Thank you
for subjecting your fond childhood memories of the movie that posits the question, are space vampires the horniest vampires? To the scrutiny of the Unkind Rewind.
It almost felt like we, the humans, are the horniest of all space creatures.
What are these feelings? You want an itemized list?
What is happening to my penis? Thanks, Conan. This was a blast. I mean, I may have gone my whole life without you bringing this to my attention.
Corrected it
without you being introduced to Matilda May's talents.
I'm just gonna walk in a catatonic funk for the rest of the week.
And shout out to Jeremy too.
Shout out to Jeremy. It probably doesn't happen without him trolling the two of us.
Yeah, just innocuously making a freaking one-line review, and
he basically produced this episode.
Yeah, Conan, that means that quid pro quo, you're gonna have to snarkily comment on something of his that brings him back onto the.
There we go.
Yeah,
I'll get right on it. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thanks, Conan and Jeremy.
In absentia.
That was another installment of the Unkind Rewind, mining our childhood for content, one film from a guest's past at a time. Unkind Rewind is a Munchcasts production and can be listened to wherever you download your podcasts and watched on the Unkind Rewind YouTube channel. Music for this and every other episode of Unkind Rewind was composed by Divorcio Suave. Rate, review, like, and subscribe to Unkind Rewind on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and Good Pods. Links to all of our social media accounts are in our show notes, but you'll find us as at Unkind Rewind Pod on Letterboxd and nearly every social media platform, all of which can be found at our website, unkindrewind.com. If you have a question, concern, complaint, or feedback, you can email the podcast at unkindrewindpod@gmail.com or call into our call-in line, area code 507-479-6440, and leave a message that can be played on air. Fans should join the Munchcast Discord to discuss this or any other episode of the Unkind Rewind with like-minded people. This dialogue may just make it into a future episode of the pod. The Unkind Rewind Patreon will be coming soon, so start squirreling that pocket change away. Thank you for listening to the Unkind Rewind.